Hey there, amazing friends. I warmly invite you to join me on this exciting journey by subscribing to my channel, liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. Every like, comment, and share brings us closer together and fuels my passion to create more great contents. Your support truly makes all the difference. Thank you for being the heart of this community. Sunset over the cabin doorstep, the family vacation that ended in eerie emptiness. A hush fell over Cedarvale Lake that summer evening, as if the entire stretch of forest and water sensed an impending loss. The sun dipped low in the sky, painting the horizon with streaks of crimson and gold, reflecting off the water's surface like liquid fire. Along the gravel road leading into the pines, the Cassidy family arrived with the excitement of a well-deserved holiday. It was supposed to be just another ordinary summer trip, a few tranquil days in a cozy lakeside cabin, fishing rods, board games, and the promise of star-filled nights by a campfire. No one in the neighboring towns suspected that within a week, a pall of unease would overshadow those silent woods, an unease that would linger for decades, leaving behind more questions than answers. Over time, the watchers of local lore gave the event a simple name: the Cassidy Cabin Disappearance. Officially, it was unsolved, just another tragic case in the annals of missing persons. But among the tall pines and the hush of the lake, rumors and half-remembered sightings whispered of darker possibilities, intangible forces, or unstoppable illusions overshadowing illusions, weaving a tapestry of dread that no authority could quite dispel. The Cassidy family, Derrick, the father, Linda, the mother, teenage twins, Kara and Kevin, and the youngest daughter, Lily, had set out on a Wednesday morning from their suburban home. They were an average, warm family. Linda taught at a nearby elementary school. Derrick managed a small business. The twins were about to enter their junior year, and Lily, all of 7, was enthralled by the idea of frogs and crayfish she might find by the lake. Driving a well-worn minivan stuffed with coolers and fishing gear, they arrived at Cabin Hash 6, perched near a gentle slope leading to a secluded cove. The cabin's caretaker, an elderly man named Gus, greeted them briefly, handing over a ring of keys. He recommended caution on the trails after dark. Bears had been sighted in the area, and left them with a note about how to reach him if they needed anything. The Cassidys, for their part, intended to spend a quiet vacation, reading, fishing, maybe a day's hike. They could not have guessed that the caretaker would be the last to see all 5 of them together. That first day, the Cassidy children explored the cabin's modest interior: 2 bedrooms, a small kitchen, a main area with a fireplace. The family set about unrolling sleeping bags, rummaging through cabinets. A few leftover items hinted at previous renters: an old magazine, a half-used coffee jar. Linda chatted about making s'mores that evening. Derek studied a small map pinned on the wall, planning a short hike for the next day. The kids asked about renting a canoe, or maybe they'd fish off the small dock. The mood was lighthearted, the scene idyllic. Yet, outside, the wind rustled pine needles in a faint, dissonant note, as if the forest might be whispering warnings that fell on unhearing ears. Neighbors in adjacent cabins noticed the Cassidys that evening, hearing their laughter across the water. One neighbor recalled seeing the twins skipping stones near dusk. Another glimpsed Linda sweeping the porch while Lily looked on. The caretaker, Gus, watched from afar, satisfied that the new arrivals had settled in. Then came Thursday morning. The caretaker approached with a borrowed canoe suggestion, but found the cabin locked, curtains drawn. No sign of the family outside. He assumed they slept in or had gone for an early hike. So he left. By midday, the caretaker realized he saw no movement, no voices. This was not unusual. Some families spent entire days out exploring. Yet by dusk, the place remained eerily silent. The caretaker, uneasy, tested the cabin door. It was locked from the inside. He knocked, called out. No response. Peering through a window, he glimpsed the living area in slight disarray, chairs askew, a cooler half open. But no occupant. Puzzled, he assumed they might be on a long day trip or a boat ride that ran late. By Friday morning, worry set in. The caretaker found the Cassidy minivan still parked near the cabin. If they had left, they hadn't used their vehicle. Possibly they hiked to a distant trail or campsite. Yet, leaving the cabin locked from the inside suggested a puzzle. How did they exit? As hours passed, the caretaker's calls went unanswered. He alerted the local sheriff. Soon, a low-key search commenced. A deputy visited the cabin, forced open the door. Inside, they found no sign of forced entry, no sign of struggle, just daily items left in mid-use. A pan on the stove unwashed, a deck of cards scattered on the table, a child's doll on the porch step. The entire family's clothes, except for what they might have worn, remained. The father's wallet and mother's purse sat on a nightstand. The caretaker verified that the front door had indeed been locked from inside with a small chain latch. The back door had a similar interior latch, also engaged. Windows were closed. The official police report soon described it as if the Cassidys had vanished into thin air. The watchers recognized these early details as the hallmark of an impossible disappearance. Over the next days, local authorities scoured the woods, the lake, the nearby roads. No footprints, no sightings. The caretaker insisted it was as if the family had stepped out under the setting sun and never returned. The watchers in the local paper wrote headlines about family mysteriously disappears from lakeside cabin, fueling rumors and speculation. Over the ensuing weeks, the local sheriff's department ramped up search efforts. Volunteers combed the forest trails, divers scoured the lake shallows. The watchers among them found no sign of bodies, no sign of a campsite. The father's bank accounts showed no suspicious activity. The mother's phone was found in the cabin, turned off. If it had been a planned disappearance, they left behind all resources. Nor was there evidence of robbery or violence. The watchers realized they faced a puzzle that defied standard scenarios. No footprints leading away, no forced locks. Some watchers invoked an external abduction scenario. Maybe a boat arrived at night, forcibly took them. But no boat sightings aligned, and the caretaker recalled no suspicious visitors. Rumors of a family meltdown or murder-suicide surfaced, but nothing in the cabin or the family's background suggested that. The watchers gleaned that the Cassidys had been excited for their vacation, with no sign of distress. The local community felt the chill of unsolved tragedy. Among them, a new wave of watchers, the curious and conspiratorial, arrived, hypothesizing cult involvement, alien abduction, or a slip into another dimension. The watchers who stand outside might see it as illusions, overshadow illusions, but to those on the ground, it was heartbreak and confusion. As days turned to months, leads dried up. The watchers discovered small anomalies. A single muddy footprint on the cabin porch that matched none of the Cassidys' footwear. A partial set of scuff marks near the lake's edge, as if something large had been dragged or launched. But none led to a coherent explanation. Meanwhile, search expansions found no campsite or bodies in the region. In the shadows, theories multiplied. A rumor suggested an old caretaker's ledger referencing land disputes, or a shady land developer who might want to scare away visitors. Another story claimed the entire region was known for strange phenomena, lights at night above the forest, silent watchers glimpsed among the pines. Possibly an old local cult. Yet no direct evidence supported these lines. The watchers recognized a pattern. Illusions overshadow illusions, overshadowing illusions. The Watchers concluded that this might remain an enigma unless a miraculous break emerged. A few months after the disappearance, an out-of-state private investigator named Monica stepped in, hired by extended Cassidy relatives. She sifted through the official documents, concluding that the last confirmed sighting was that Wednesday evening. She interviewed the caretaker, the neighbors, the local shop owner who sold groceries to Linda that same day. All recalled normalcy. No mention of the family planning a boat excursion or a late hike. Monica visited the cabin herself, scanning for missed details. She found an older puzzle ring and a couch cushion, likely from Lily's toy collection, placed in such a way that suggested a child had been playing with it. On the front stoop, she noticed a vantage that overlooked the lake at dusk, imagining the family standing there. Possibly that was the final moment. She described in her notes how a hush might have fallen, the forest poised. Then something intervened. With no sign of violence, it remained intangible. Monica parted with a heavy heart, suspecting the truth might never surface. In the next year, rumors flared that a couple hikers found items in the forest. The Watchers investigated but found no direct link to the Cassidys. Another rumor said a teenage girl resembling Kara was spotted in a truck stop states away, but that turned out false. Over time, the Watchers accepted the hush. The caretaker eventually retired, unsettled by the cabin's dark aura. The property owner tried renting the cabin again, but travelers avoided it. Some Watchers described the hush at the cabin as if time stood still near dusk. The Watchers who lingered in the area performed vigils, placing lanterns on the porch on the anniversary of the disappearance, hoping for a sign. But none came. 10 years later, a new wave of Watchers revived the story in a podcast. They discovered an anomaly in Linda's phone backups, a half-typed message to a friend referencing something strange we saw near the lake. That might have been the final impetus. The Watchers scoured for local eyewitness accounts. One old neighbor recalled faint lights over the tree line that same evening, possibly orbs or reflection. Another caretaker's friend claimed to have found strange footprints near the shore. As usual, illusions overshadow illusions, overshadowing illusions. Each new piece fueled speculation, but yielded no closure. Some Watchers suspected a cosmic or supernatural factor. Others stuck to a more grounded explanation. Maybe the family ran afoul of a smuggling ring. No direct sign supported any single theory. The Watchers concluded the unstoppable illusions overshadow illusions, leaving heartbreak. The cabin stands to this day, dusty, with a battered porch. Some Watchers visit, hoping to sense an echo of the Cassidy presence. Now and then, a caretaker or visitor glimpses fleeting shapes at dusk, a child's silhouette on the porch step, or faint laughter on the breeze. Could be illusions. Could be residual energies. The Watchers remain uncertain. Officially, the disappearance remains an open case, the Cassidys' fate unknown. Among local folklore, it's become a cautionary tale. The final memory of them stepping onto the porch at sunset, a horizon streaked with gold, and the unstoppable hush that followed. For the Watchers, it's another example of illusions, overshadow illusions, a place where rational solutions slip away, overshadowed by intangible dread. And in that hush, the Watchers note the memory of a family seeking a simple vacation resonates with unanswered sorrow, reminding everyone that sometimes the quietest corners hold the darkest mysteries.